A tornado touches down near LPIA and all inbound and outbound traffic shuts down.
Also tonight, we've got the damage in the wake of the tornado. We'll show you just how bad it was.
Open or close, confusion leads to frustration at Stephen Dillard Primary School. The National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This segment of the news is brought to you by BTC, powered by Lime.
Say, I don't work and that's the next water spout. That is crazy. Like, that's a tornado. Like, I'm about to break off bread and soon. Like, oh my goodness.
We could be on stop.
What? I'm telling you, babe.
A tornado touches down at LPIA, shutting down inbound and outbound traffic to the airport. Good night, everyone. I'm Chris Saunders.
I'm Keishla Adderley. Well, that panicked resident was in the right place at the wrong time today, but still had the presence of mind to capture the tornado on camera. It was 10 minutes to 3 this afternoon when the twister touched down just south of the airport. It left 9 small planes at general aviation damaged, according to police on site, and it created quite a dilemma for critical airport staff who had to debate safety over duty. The weather event also left inbound and outbound flights up in the air temporarily. Now, there were reports that there were 2 twisters, but Met officials say it's likely that one tornado regenerated itself. However, they're not dismissing the possibility that the second twister may have formed. Now, the good news is there were no injuries. The bad news, current conditions may be perfect for more tornadic activity in the days ahead. We'll hear more from that with meteorologist Greg Thompson in just a few minutes.
Now, just moments after that freak weather occurrence happened, there was a stir at the general aviation section of the Lynden Pinland International Airport this afternoon. Our Fern Carey was there minutes after the tornado moved through.
Police say 9 small aircraft at the general aviation section of the airport were damaged Tuesday after a tornado touched down in the area around 2:39 p.m. Chief Climate Officer at the Met Office, Mike Stubbs, says there were some tense moments as a tornado, which he says was about 15 to 20 feet in diameter, moved across the area. He described it as ominous.
Subsequent tornado actually lasted for a few minutes. It was very distinct, very, in fact, ominous at times because it's the way in which it actually expanded in terms of diameter. And it made its way moving from east to west towards the aerodrome, that is the Lynden Pinland International Airport airway. And as a result of that, we've later learned from the air traffic controllers that there may have been some damages.
According to Stubbs, the fact that the tornado developed as it did is a rare occurrence. He notes that such systems are a major concern for aviators and mariners.
This system is slow in terms of movement, and because of that, it's actually produced heavy thunderstorms on event, and also today, like today's day, it produced actually a funnel cloud. This funnel cloud evolved into a water spout and eventually made contact with land, again deeming it a tornado. This would have occurred, actually based on observation, this would have occurred about 2:39 today, 2:39 p.m. that is, today's day, when this funnel cloud was actually observed. The air traffic controllers made contact with us. They were the first person to observe this funnel cloud, and in fact they alerted us, and we went out and we observed the same thing.
Now, fortunately, no one was injured during the incident. However, General Manager at the Airport Authority, Malo Butler III, says services at the facility were suspended briefly.
And that has now we've reopened. So we haven't seen any other impact other than that. All of the buildings are intact, all of the staff are fine, all of the passengers are fine.
Police were soon on the scene conducting investigations. Officer in charge of the Western Division, Superintendent Alan Emmanuel.
Our information thus far, there's about 9 aircraft, small aircraft, that's the damage. For most part, some got serious damage, and with 2 or 3 that got the wings damage. It's at a preliminary stage of investigation. between the police and aviation personnel.
Meantime, the police investigation into this freak accident is ongoing, and the findings are expected to be released within the next few days. Erin Carey, ZNS Network News.
Officials didn't have to go far to get this bit of professional experience. Right now, we're going to turn it over to meteorologist Greg Thompson, who had just left the office when the tornado touched down. Hello, Greg.
Hi, Keishlin. Good evening, everybody. Very busy day around the capital. As a nice shot here with that funnel cloud tornado that moved across the portions of the airport, doing quite a bit of damage out there. And conditions are very ripe for that right now because we still have quite a bit of tropical moisture across our area, and we have that thunderstorm activity going to continue through tomorrow. So be prepared. You may see another funnel cloud or tornado out there as conditions are very ripe. How these things are forming, we actually have a little bit of wind shear, the updrafts and downdrafts within the thunderstorms, up and down. And we have those winds turning rather clockwise across the thunderstorm, and these turning of the winds actually turn in the vertical, and you have these funnel clouds sticking out of these thunderstorms, even these big towering cumulus, and touching down, creating quite a bit of damage. So as I mentioned, conditions are right. We have quite a bit of moisture in place, and this moisture is not going to go very far. We expect it to be around for another day or two. So make sure you be prepared out there because showers and thunderstorms will once again pop up tonight through tomorrow. Chris?
All right, Greg, it seemed like it was a supercell that formed, and you talk about the conditions being ripe for it to happen. Should we still be on alert for more tornadic activity within the next few hours, within the next few half a day, for the next couple of days? How far ahead should we be thinking about tornadoes here in Nassau and throughout? I think it extended as far as North Andros as well. How far should we be thinking about that?
Well, as I mentioned, the tropical moisture is still in place. This moisture is extending actually from the central Bahamas into the northern Bahamas, and a lot of showers and thunderstorm activity popping up across it. Taking a look at our radar, this just about right there is when we started to see those showers and thunderstorms pop up across the capital, and most of this is continuing across the northern Bahamas. So one more day expected with this moisture in place. Actually, a lot of this moisture is emanating from out of the southwest Caribbean with a low pressure system right across the Yucatan Peninsula, and it is possible that this system could form into a tropical storm over the next 48 hours. So conditions, once again, will be ripe for the next day at least, and possibly into Thursday. So showers and thunderstorms out there, be prepared. Make sure you take the necessary precautions if we do issue severe thunderstorm warnings.
Well, Greg, there was a lot of video and pictures circulating today after this event. One of the most compelling ones, Chris, as you saw, airport workers running away from the tornado. So what do you do if you come face to face with a tornado?
Well, if you happen to be on the outdoors, very bad conditions out there. The best thing is to seek a safe shelter, and normally what you would do is you want to seek, if you're on the outdoors, some sort of a ditch or a very low-lying area. If you happen to be near a building, we want you to get indoors and get to the most secure portions of that building, which will probably be in the center of the building where a lot of the stronger walls, the stronger structure is. Keisha?
Thanks a lot, Greg.
All right, yeah, thanks a lot. We'll have more on that later as well. Moving on now, police have seized drugs that have a street value of $500,000.
20,000 plants and counting since making the discovery.
Officers of the DEU unit made the find on more than 50 acres of land in the well fields off Gladstone Road early yesterday afternoon.
Our Cyan Thompson has more.
Officers of the Drug Enforcement Unit combed through more than 50 acres of land, pulling up marijuana plants in a well field off Gladstone Road. Police say it is one of the largest drug finds in recent times. In searching the field, officers found a makeshift shelter, which appeared to be occupied. Superintendent Stephen Dean was on the scene.
We can tell you that we do have a suspect in custody. Bahamian male is in custody. We also found him in the possession of a firearm. Police are actively investigating this matter. We are still looking for 2 suspects. What we can tell you that based on intelligence, based on what we are getting from members of the public, the people in the Bahamas have reached this point that enough is enough. We've reached the crossroad, and as a result, they are giving the police intelligence. So police were able to come here, made this discovery.
Dean says they want the community to continue working with them to combat crimes of all kinds.
We can tell you that this is going to save many lives. With the discovery of this large marijuana field, we can tell you that our young people, who these drugs will be destined to, will not be hurt by these drugs. And they will pursue the drug trafficker, they will prosecute them, and I will encourage members of the public, please be outstanding Bahamian citizens. And this is an absolute example what we are talking about. This is the aggressiveness that the RBPF and the government's crime strategy. As a result of this approach, this is one of the results of the approach. This is what we do when we work together collectively.
Superintendent Dean had this message for the public.
We encouraging members of the public, you have any additional information regarding any drug fields, regarding any drug houses, regarding anyone who's in possession of dangerous drugs, to please contact the police or contact directly the Drug Enforcement Unit.
For the ZNS Network News, I'm Cyan Thompson.
Well, still ahead, mixed messages at Stephen Dillett, why the back-to-school delay was extended at the campus.
And in sports, police hit the gym looking for a win. We've got Government League highlights coming up. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Shell Helix Ultra. Performance you can see.